Hey all, another day working on the van. We're gonna actually start welding in the side panel structure so that I can start putting boards and stuff on it. So I'm just gonna get to it. Got these done. So this bar is welded in. It's set up to be at the exact same height as this body line here, which gives me a little bit of space under the window. It means in theory I should be able to put the surface on this and tuck it under the window. It's welded at each end all the way around, and then I welded this extension here and this extension here. It doesn't actually touch the wall. Those are just so that when I put the surface on here, which is probably going to be, you know, a piece of plywood, maybe 1/2 inch or something, I can screw it to the back, not just the front, so that it's got some structure. But I don't need, this doesn't need to be welded. This does not need to be welded all the way to the wall because it's such a short distance that it's not going to deform in any meaningful way. You just won't be able to, literally won't be able to apply enough force to bend that. That should be fine. I may down the line add a third one in the middle if it doesn't feel strong enough, but right now I'm pretty confident in it. And then built this bar over here, similar idea. It's welded over here, it's welded here. It is flush with the top of this. I wish I didn't have this little gap here, but the bar wasn't quite long enough to cut it all the way. But when I put the top on here, it'll take care of that problem completely. Same thing, I put a little kick out here so that I can have the top. The top is going to cover this whole thing and then come over here and screw here. That just means this back is not floating. But so this is all done. I can now work on sheathing that. This is done. I can work on sheathing here. I'm going to see if I can find a speaker that fits here. So that's all set. Back here, it gets slightly more complicated.
3 days later.
This is supposed to have been built into an area, and I keep putting it off because wasn't entirely sure how I want to do it. I'm still not entirely sure. But I'm realizing I'm actually at the point now where I'm screwing myself over by doing all the other work around this. Like, I glued that on. Now I'm going to have to peel that back off again in order to work on this. Because I put it off. So I'm just going to work on this. I'm going to try and get the steel welded into here so that I can still do stuff around it without screwing myself any further. Basically, I need to enclose this because this is going to become a storage area. Same thing on the other side. And the way I'm just going to enclose it is to bring it across flat. So I basically extend the wheel well. And the way I've decided I'm going to do that is because of the curve at the top of the wheel well here, if I put a bar across at the far end, it ends up being weird into that. What I'm going to do is put a bar in right about here where it gets flat and run that across, and then use whatever I make the front of this out to help sort of match it to that curve. I think this will end up slightly recessed, but I'm okay with that. That's not a problem. I will accept the slight loss in cargo space that may give me for the simplicity of installing it. So basically I just need one bar that goes from here to the same height over here, and that'll do 90% of what I need. That will be the structure I need, because that'll hold the front, that'll hold anything I like. There's going to be a bed platform in here that'll hold that in place just fine. But I need a little bit at the back as well just so that the top piece that goes in here isn't hanging out in space. I have to peel this foam back off, and then I'm going to weld a small piece across here, and then I'm going to weld another piece somewhere in here. I may go from this over to the corner here. I may go from this to the bottom of the light thing. I'm thinking I'm probably going to go to this, but I need something in here that just supports further back so that the piece that's in here isn't entirely floating. On the other side, I have to do basically the same thing, except I don't have this. So on that side, I'm going to have to get a little bit more inventive. And there we go. This bar crossed. This one ended up very slightly tipped outwards, but not enough that it's going to be a problem. Then I've got this one and that one back there, both doing the jobs they need to do. I don't know if it was obvious or not, but I set fire to the back of that somehow, which, given this is where the fuel filler is, that was a little scary. Fortunately, just was able to just snuff it out with the glove. But this is all welded in. It all feels nice and solid. The welds over here are kind of ugly, and the welds over there are kind of ugly, just given angles. And it was mostly the ability to get the grinder in there to clean it up enough. But they're solid enough. They'll hold. None of this is going to be subjected to an insane amount of force. Like, that's going to be the point under the greatest stress. And I'm reasonably confident about the welds there, with the exception of this one ugly one right on the corner. So that's basically all set. Quick grind here and there to just smooth out things, and that side is done. So I basically just have to accomplish a similar thing on the other side. And there's the other side done. I'm kind of embarrassed after how much I've been putting this off, how quickly it all went. So same deal, welded this bar across, and then on this side, because I didn't have the other thing, what I did was cut another bar the same length and then just cut a bar to go between them. So technically this corner is floating, but it ain't going anywhere, especially because anything heavy that's laid across will primarily be taken up by this bar. This bar is pretty much only to keep that corner from dipping in again. So that should be more than sufficient. So with these in place, I can build out the rest of this all. And with these in place, I'm done fabbing inside the van with welding, as far as the welding is concerned, at least for right now. So I don't have to worry about welding sparks from that in whatever else I'm working on. That'll do me for tonight. I'll talk to you later. Bye.